Good morning, Modified 95 family. We are back at the library doing some work today. Both me and the roomie are home and off work. I worked very late last night and I just woke up. It's around noonish, so it feels really nice out here and we're ready to make some stuff happen. My issue is this engine looks so beautiful and complete-ish. Not quite ready to run, but at a very good place. My GSR, my baby, this race build, we're going fast. It's not, it's headless. So let's work on that today. There's a few things we need to do to the head, and I hope to make that possible today. So give me 5 on my black hand side and let's go. All right, so we're looking at the butt side of a P72 GSR head. Let's see what we got going here. We have done a little bit of work to this. There was nothing wrong with it. It didn't get warped, so it should be pretty square on the bottom and flat. So it should mate up to the block, no problem. Today, we are gonna do a little bit of porting is the goal. Picked up these offline. I don't remember exactly, eBay, I think. What else is done here? I think the exhaust valves, we switched to some B16 intake valves, so both sides are dual valve spring. We have the Skunk 2 Tuner 1 cams for this to keep it carb legal. And so after, I'm trying to think if we did anything else to this. I pulled off the intake studs. This is actually the, yeah, this is the butt end, it's the back. Because of the porting and switching over to extended studs, which we have. Just trying to give you a quick little rundown. Oh yeah, we switched out the LMAs for the spring type. And I gave it a good scrub, of course with oven cleaner and the toothbrush. And it's probably not gonna get painted because this is clean enough for my purposes. So today, we just wanna get in here. Don't know if we need to take the valves out, but we're gonna get started. And then when this is finally ported, everything will have to get a deep clean, get any impurities or little flakes of metal out of here before it goes onto the head. There were some questions of length because of the arbor for the sanding bits are a little short. We were expecting to be more like 4 inches. They're about half that, but we think we should be able to get the appropriate reach. So right now we're gonna use this fancy tool. These are pretty cheap on eBay, and it just bolts right to the top of the head. Then it allows you to compress each one of these springs, and we will remove it, and then we will take a piece of cardboard and we're gonna press each one of those into the cardboard so it keeps the same order. Because if things get out of order, we probably have to, I wanna say, lap the valves to make them seat properly. And we already know that they fit very well where they are now, so let's not mess that up. Once that is done, we're gonna find a thick but thin, slim, thick piece of cardboard, and we'll get these smoothed out because we measured with the calipers, and these are a little bit bigger than the ports on the Skunk 2 manifold. So first thing that will happen is we'll just give these a light smoothing without trying to make them any bigger, just make them, you know, flow better. And then we'll make a gasket off this, and then we'll compare it to the other one, and then make the adjustments on that replaceable part, unlike this harder to find part. So that way we don't mess anything up, because it'd be fine if nothing happens, but it's gonna be bad if we make this flow worse than it originally was.
You can't really check them just by look. Well, if they're really bent, you can see them.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. If the valves were bent enough for me to notice, they'd be pretty darn bad. I'm sure there's a way to check these, but I mean, otherwise, visually, they look good. It's a good day whenever I get to use my art degree. So I made this cool little board. So cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then each of them has 2. So they will be in the right order. So they go back in the right arrangement. And it just looks cool. And we can set this aside so it won't fall. It's just here for now. Obviously, it's not gonna stay up here. That's the best way to drop a whole bunch of valves at once and need to get new ones. So yeah, the compressor just goes in. It bolts right to the head. Then with that, it pushes that, allowing us to get a little magnet in there. Then we get the keepers inside of a little bag so we don't lose those. We lost one. And then all B-Series VTEC models have the dual springs. This head happens to have them on both sides because we took an intake side off an old B16. And modeled it more like the Type R. So this is somewhat tedious. I wish there was a faster way, but it is by no means complicated. It just takes a little bit of time. Not worth time lapsing. It's just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I'm sure that everyone could get that down, but we'll come back when that's all opened up so we can start doing some of the polishing inside. So it's just a real gentle smoothing. We were short on lubricating oils, so we did a real soapy mix of Dawn and hot water to get in there and lubricate.
It's to lubricate so it doesn't stick to that.
Oh, to make sure we keep the paper clear so it keeps doing its job and doesn't just get bound up and work against us. So we're not going to sit through all of these. And this is just, once again, like a polishing, a smoothing out of this for a better flow. And then most of the opening will happen on the other piece, which is back there on the washing machine. So while Zero has been diligently working away, getting those ports smoothed out on the intake side. I think we're only needing to do the intake side. I've been cleaning garage. I've been trying to move stuff onto our new shelf over there and moved a few things onto this shelf just so they're off the floor and out of the way. And I swept. It's always good to be able to walk into your garage without stepping on metal shavings and helicoils and all different things that are on the ground. So I try to keep it clean. I like it clean. I really need to get some more oven cleaner because I get bored sometimes and I just want to scrub all these transmissions, all 6 of them. Oh, that one's probably not dirty. But then I also want to clean that B16 head, and my roommate has an H22 that he should be working on soon, so I want to clean that just so it's ready for whatever he wants to do with it. But yeah, this is what we're doing. And so we've moved up. I think we had 100 grit and 120 grit.
80, then 100,
oh,
then 120.
Correction, 80, then 100, then 120. So we're working on the 120. You can see how clean it looks. Oh my God, I got a race car. It's looking good. It's coming right along. And then we're gonna have to figure out how to get this whole head clean. I wish we had a hot tank, a home hot tank, but we don't. And we're not paying to go to a machine shop because we're half price hot boys. I just learned that word and it's my new favorite thing.
In the year 2000, all of hell broke loose. The deadline inversion spawned the ravenous black open.
It's like night and day difference. Hit the 3 stages, got everything substantially smoother. Now I think the goal is to clean this up, but that'll probably take some sort of effort. I'm not sure what is going to be needed to just make sure all this metal shavings are out of here. This is not a AK-47. We can't just throw a bunch of sand in here and hope it to run at peak performance. So it needs to be clean. Next, I think we need to design a paper gasket for the size of this to model onto the other piece, onto the intake manifold, to make sure that they match up perfectly now that these are smooth and beautiful. Let's take one more look at these bad boys. Oh my goodness. I think this is a tried and true old school race car technique. You just take a thin piece of cardboard. I really wish I had like a folder, because I think like a manila folder would be like the ideal thickness. And we just hand screwed in a couple studs through this. This is the piece of cardboard we had. It's like a sandpaper package. And then we just tap until it makes the port. And it cuts it just right on that edge, on that sharp edge. And it's darn near perfect. So we'll do all 4 of these, and then we'll have something to compare the intake manifold to. Pretty neat.
I mean, it's not horrible. It could be worse.
Most definitely, it's not too far off. So we didn't have any dye-chem. It's the fancy term for the paint they use for this. So we used a Sharpie and colored onto the intake manifold, and then now we're coming back with a metal scribing tool. We're going to transcribe the vibe so we know how much we need to take off, just so we can get a more precise match. So I'm pretty stoked on this. And then we'll come back when we cut all that crap out.
Void. All of existence will soon be violently destroyed.
All right, so we're at the resolution. We've gotten as far as we needed to today. I need to take this head that's all ready to go, get it cleaned. I need to wash it. I need to wash every corner of it. So I probably have to do the dishes first, and then I can get it in there with just some soap and water to clean it out, then probably blow it out with some sort of water displacement, like a much bigger version of this WD-40. I'll need to spray this out. Valves are here. Those probably just need a quick little wipe before they go back in. I need to rinse these off, get them real clean because they got a bunch of metal shavings on them because they were sitting right next to it. I pulled out the dowel pins and put those in the same bag as the keeper. So this is all ready to go and set so it won't get lost. That's the most important thing, is not losing the pieces, because if you started with a certain amount, you need that to put it back together. You can't just be like, oh, I lost some spare parts. No, you need all that. So let's check out Master Zeronius's work. Oh yeah, squatting down. So that's the template we made, and then we used the same holes. We just put a bolt through to set it there, and then we traced it out. And he came through with the air tool with the carbide bit to hog out some of those bigger pieces. And the goal is smoothness, right? So it's not to win a beauty pageant, it's to be smooth so that the air comes through here smooth, so you're getting all the advantages of having this cool aftermarket part. And then he came with the sanding bits and just smoothed it out, so it's like glass in here. It's very nice. It's very smooth and ready to go. You see how well this matches up. And this is not the intake manifold gasket. That cool thermal one I got is not the intake manifold gasket either, that's gonna match up with what we did here. So we'll have to get some gasket making material, almost do the same thing we did to make this one. Well, no, we will do the exact same thing we did to make this one. Not almost, it is the exact same process. And then we'll have a custom gasket for our custom ported holes, and this thing should flow like a beast, hopefully very similar to Type R. All right, Modified family, until I see you next time, peace.